Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Junker with Junior. Had to stop at the old Flying J Pilot, get us a cup of liquid encouragement for the day. Got to head off to work, but you can see I got the rig behind me. The day has finally come to get this old girl painted. So we're going to take it down to the paint supply store today so they can scan the interior blue on the roof of the truck. So, because that's what we want the paint on the outside to be, so it'll be all factory blue again, and the ceiling is the cleanest part on the truck, so they're going to scan that so we get the exact paint color that we need, because I don't know what the paint code is for the truck, but scan it, have exactly what we need. It's looking, you know, kind of weathered like it always has. Got one factory county white tire on the back there, and just threw some crappy old wheels and tires on it that I had as spares so that we don't have to worry about getting overspray on the nice wheels and tires that I have for the truck. But man, I can't wait. It's finally come. This truck is coming together. It's been long awaited. Patience has really you know, been getting the best of me on this one, but it's time to head off to work and get this day rolling. So made it down here to the shop. Time to get the old girl loaded up. A couple of things I had shipped here to the shop because they won't drop ship a truck to my house because they can't get in the driveway. So we got our two fenders and our steel cowl induction hood from Auto Metal Direct here. Actually went with the 2-inch cowl. Didn't want to go any taller than that just to give it a little bit of that tough, you know, muscle car look to it, since it does have some power under the hood. So brand new stuff. We don't have to do any body work on that. Sometimes there may be a little ding or two here and there from the shipping and stuff, but the boxes look really good, so I don't think we're going to have any issues there. And it's time to start sanding all that white off here once we get it to my buddy Dave's house. I just can't. So the time has finally worked out that I was able to come by my buddy Dave's house. He's been working on the truck some, but I'm by here so I can help do some sanding on this truck tonight and get this thing ready for some paint eventually. It's really a mess right now. Obviously, it always looks worse before they look better, but this thing has come a long ways. So it had this really bad scrape down here and something just drug down the side, and Dave's worked a bunch of that out already, you know, pulling it out, and till it requires minimal filler now. But yeah, it really looks good. Like man, this is something. He's had a lot of little dings and dents and stuff we weren't expecting that much of, but you know, that's the way this stuff goes. And a little bit of filler here and there, and it's come a long way. So it's a whole lot straighter than it used to be. That is for sure. All right, so we made some decent progress yesterday on some more sanding on the door jambs and the door frames on the driver's, or excuse me, passenger side there. And one thing that I did forget to do was bring the moving blanket so that we can cover up the engine, just to keep some of the dust off of it. Kind of forgot about that initially, so it's a little dusty, but it'll all clean up. So we'll get that covered up and we can keep on doing it. And over here, you can see I've just been going around by hand and definitely found a high spot there, but these bodies were not straight from the factory at all. Went ahead and pulled the window felt strips out of here and the run channel so that we can get in there and sand all that, so we don't have any tape lines around the edges here. So that'll definitely turn out to be a better paint job when it's all said and done. So it looks terrible now, but it's progress, and it will only look better as we go along. So another thing is, I've always said this truck was a rust-free truck because I actually thought it was, but I've been lying to people. This truck did have some rust in it. Not as bad as your typical square body scene though. Dave, when he was scuffing down this corner, he found one little rust hole here, so went ahead and just cut that whole section out. Not worth doing a complete patch panel down here. Just going to do that little square, weld it in, grind it down, blend it in, and we'll be good with that. Some fresh clean metal down there, and you know, just your typical dings and dents, a little bit of filler, and we'll knock those down and get that all blended in pretty nice. Another thing, I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera here, but like here's where the white's been sanded down pretty good, and then you get into the blue and then the raw metal. This orange, or excuse me, the white paint has such orange peel and is so textured that it really makes it easy when you're sanding it, because it's a hard paint, so it sands off good, and you can tell plain as day when you get down to that smooth white clean material, you know, we've got all the bad stuff out, and then we can, you know, get the rest of it done, get some primer on this truck, and keep moving forward. Okay, so we got our little patch panel made down here on the bottom of the cab corner. Got a little more grinding to do on those welds, and then we can put a little skim coat of filler on there and get that dialed in. And we found another interesting place up here on the back of the cab behind the rear door, and we sanded it down some because there were some tiny little rust bubbles, so we got to clean up the metal a little bit there, but it's actually poking outward like something hit it from the inside, and there is an access plug in there, and I don't know what it was for, but a little bit of work and it'll be dialed right in just like the rest of it. So the truck's even more of a mess than when we started earlier tonight, but it's all progress. It's headed in the right direction. It won't be as long as it has been, and that's going to do it for tonight. Thanks for watching Junkin' with Junior, and we will see you next time.